So the last example has to do with why do you think bacteria produce endospores, and what kind of bacteria do you suspect might do that? Now, we talked about 3 examples today, and each of those 3 bacteria were gram-positive. So we have gram-positive bacteria. Now, what do we remember about gram-positive? Remember, gram-positive has that outer peptidoglycan layer that's composed of those polysaccharides linked up with protein. And if you think about it, that because already these gram-positive bacteria have these thickened cell wall layers, it wouldn't be too much for them, for instance, to develop a spore state where they have an even thicker membrane around, or a layer, not even a membrane, a layer, because remember, with the peptidoglycan layer, it's underneath the peptidoglycan where we have that plasma membrane. So if we can develop a stage where the membrane is even greater in terms of its capacity to protect, then it doesn't take too much for those bacteria to develop these endospores. And then, as we've seen in the 3 examples, these endospores tend to live in the soil, and they can actually survive for many, many years. And that's why, for instance, if you get bit by an animal, or you step on a rusty nail, or any of these, or get exposed to anthrax, for instance. And if you remember at 9/11, it was that whitish powder, which is very dry, right? That whitish powder, were those endospores from this anthrax bacteria. And if just by ingesting this powder, you can actually reactivate the growth of the bacteria, and then you get release of the toxin, and then it's a highly, highly fatal and a highly, highly contagious disease. It's very dangerous, and it's very prone, for instance, to be a bioterrorism agent. So that concludes our lecture for today. Thank you so much for visiting Educator.com.